how do we make sure that this moment that we're in really is sustainable, that it becomes more than just a brief moment in time, but it's something that really the changes that we're going to make and the conversations that we're having right now, that they last beyond this just this brief moment of 2020.
Yeah. We have to make it not a trend, but part of our life, part of our art, part of our active work every day. Whether it's, through the music and making sure that, you make space to tell these stories in your interviews, to speak on these, and the clothes that you wear and conversations that you have, donating. You may say, I'm going to find an organization I love and make sure that I always donate something to this organization to continue to work. Showing up and supporting, other artists, or, making sure that, when you're in these meetings and these boardrooms and doing deals with people, ask, where their priorities are. You love our culture, but how are you giving back to our culture at the same time? And taking true ownership of your brand and your art and your creativity, and deciding, who do I make sure I align myself, that really is about making sure that we all are moving forward into the right direction. So it takes all of us, in all sectors, from the bottom to the top, left to right, to be a part of the conversation and make sure we continue to move it forward. And the biggest thing I think I got from this year is just the need for artists and activists to connect again, because I think that we got disconnected a little bit at some point. But through this year, I've seen artists and activists connect again. And I think as long as we stay connected and we always earshot to the street, I might not be in the street like Tamika Mallory, but I could pick up the phone and ask, what do you need of me? How can I service
Mhm.
you? How can I support whatever you're doing? So, there's no really one way, but we have to make sure that there, at any way that we can, that we try to show up, or, decide what is my act going to be for the rest of this time.
Let's pick up on that thread, and Toby, this question to you. There's some folks that say, I don't see the connection between artists and activism, and some people that we even go so far as to say, I don't want the artists that I follow to be active or speak on issues that are happening in our community at all. What do you say to people that have that concern or critique?
I say is it lies in the artist's hands and not really the person that's listening to the artist. There are artists that really do feel drawn to a certain form of activism, like us here on this panel, and then there are artists who understand that, yo, look, I feel you, but that really ain't my lane. I ain't getting involved with what I'm doing now to be a voice for this specific topic. And to be honest, I'm not mad at them because everybody ain't called to do everything. And if you ain't got the, if you ain't really solid, or you don't really believe in what it is that we fighting for, you don't really believe in oh, watch this, racism or the oppression of your own people. If you don't really believe in that, and you ain't really, if you just selling people whatever, because you, man, people get into music for whatever it is they do, or do art for whatever it is, for a whole plethora of different reasons, then you shouldn't be saying nothing. But for those who do, and for the people who say, I don't really want you saying stuff like that, I think those people, I was gonna say need to shut up and sit down, but I'm not gonna be like that. I'm gonna say those people need to just be quiet and let people move how they called to move. That's how I'm gonna say it.
Right. Just to add on to that, even the idea of what activism, or what you being a part of the process looks like. For some people, it is being a voice and being out front and marching. For other people, it's just being part of your community. I think about, like, for example, what Lil Baby did. I made this song. I'm gonna take the proceeds from this song and build community centers in my. That's part of doing the work. It's just not about police brutality. It's about making sure that these kids have places to go, and feel safe and have education, and, are able to eat. Like, there's so much into helping, everything that's going on, because it's just not one thing. It's systematic in a lot of different places. So, if your thing is not outright in a political way, it could be giving out turkeys to community, whatever it is. But, there's ways to show up, I think.
Bun B, your thoughts on this? I mean, how should what the connection between artists and activism work, and what do we say to those folks that don't want to engage at all?
Well, I think, when it comes to artists and activists, I think we both share the same concerns from a cultural aspect, right? We can share the concerns of the communities that we not only come from and grow up in and live in, but then also the communities that we care about, right? So, like, I didn't grow up in South Central Los Angeles, but I care about what happens to the young Black people in South Central Los Angeles, right? And so, because of the fact that we do share common concerns, right? We have entry points for unity and conversation and to commune under, right? And so all we have to do is let these people know that we care, right? Your activists would love nothing more than to get with the more popular artists, right? Who do share the same concerns that they do and who are willing to use their platform to amplify Black voices in those spaces, right? But I talked about this before. I remember many years ago, Minister Farrakhan was like, we need to get a lot of the rappers, we need to get all the popular rappers together and have them do a song and talk about what's going on in the Black community. And my thing was, you can't really do that because everybody doesn't care, And I'm not here to judge people based on where they are in life, because I'm not going to sit here and be hypocritical and act like I cared about it my entire life, right? But then once I did, right, I didn't hesitate in order to not only activate the people around me and the resources I had, but then also to reach out to different people and say, hey, man, I'm concerned about this. Who should I be talking to about this? Who's already done a lot of the heavy lifting, right? Because you don't want to come into the space that Tamika Mallory and my son and Trey and all these different people occupy on a daily basis and tell them, okay, move over, give me the mic. I got all the answers. It doesn't really work like that. You know what I'm saying? The answers are there. It's really just about implementation and support from local, state, and federal governments in order to really enact these changes in these communities. But I don't knock people that don't care. My only thing is just don't talk down on us and don't get in the way. Mm-hmm. Right? So if you don't want to help your people or you don't feel like that's a priority for you, that's cool. But when you see people who do prioritize that, don't talk down on them, don't shoot slugs, and don't get in the way.